I've lost over 300 pounds total over 10 years in my life so far. And let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, I'm back with a very special video. This one I have been putting off for a long time because it's really girthy, really lengthy, and a lot goes into it. But I now have a little bit of time off from work, so here is my story of how I've lost over 300 pounds in my life so far. If you have ever struggled with your weight, your mental health, or felt like your brain was working against you, this video is for you. Today I'm sharing my entire fitness journey and weight loss journey starting back in 2012/2013 when I was 12 to 13 years old. This is how I went from, over the 10 years losing over 300 pounds. But in total it was 285 down to 179. My highest was 302 and my lowest has been 179. And I go into why I lost weight multiple times and also the reasons why it finally stuck for keeping that weight off, God willing. You never know what happens in the future. This isn't a highlight reel. It's a real story of my mistakes, my setbacks, my ADHD, addiction challenges, using alcohol and food as, masking agents and coping mechanisms for emotional issues, and what actually changed my life. So growing up, I was diagnosed with ADHD, but I didn't really understand what that really meant. I felt everything intensely, emotion, stress, rejection, but I had no idea how to regulate any of it or deal with any of it, and school was brutal. I tried harder than most people, but still struggled with focus, memory, and emotional control, just because of the ADHD. So I coped the only way I knew how to at the time, which was food. I would use food to distract me or as a coping mechanism to feel some sort of dopamine or happy feeling, and I would use that as an escape somewhat and kind of use that as a crutch. By middle school, I ballooned up to about 285 pounds at 5'5" in 5th grade, which is absolutely massive. And that's when really, the bullying and a lot of picking on me really started. Between my weight, severe lazy eye, and social struggles from ADHD, honestly, I was really an easy target. And eventually, after 7th grade, it got so bad that I hit my breaking point, where I said enough is enough. And my motivation hit an all-time high. I wanted attention, confidence, and honestly, I wanted to get the attention of the girl that I liked in school. So that summer, I biked 2.5 miles to a high school weight room every day, but I biked 2.5 miles one way to get there, and then 2.5 miles back every day during the summer. I tracked my calories, tracked my macros, and I made a lot of mistakes. I was 13 years old at the time, just getting out of 8th grade, going into high school. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned a lot as well, and I relied on myself to get there, put in the work, and to get home. Nobody gave me a workout program, nothing like that. I just got in the gym and got after it. And that's when fitness hooked me. I lost over 60 pounds. So at 13 years old, I was hooked on becoming the best that I could be. And I came back from that summer 60 pounds lighter. Everyone noticed a huge gain or a huge difference. And, my bullies tended to leave me alone for that little period of time. Then high school hit and the stress sent me back into old habits. I gained all the way back and was playing football at 260 to 270 pounds. Sophomore year, I decided to try again to lose the weight. Finally, different school, but still having problems with kids picking on me because of my weight, because of my lazy eye, because of my issues with impulsivity. I decided to try it again, lose the weight, see what happens. I did CrossFit this time and then the keto diet. So over the sophomore year, over my break, sophomore during the summer, I would bike 2 miles again down to CrossFit Eastern Ridge, it was called at the time, and hit a workout every single day, and then bike back. This is also where I did my first triathlon. So I worked my ass off that summer, and it paid off because by the end of the summer, when I got back for football, I had earned myself a varsity spot for football. But I was playing football almost blind because of my prescription and my astigmatism. I couldn't get contacts at the time, right? And then my prescription, when I put them in the goggles just fogged up right away because of Wisconsin weather. So I was really just playing, looking for shapes, colors, and numbers. And the numbers on the jersey were the only numbers that were big enough that I could see. And my vision issues held me back more than my strength ever did, but that's all right. As I got older, food wasn't my only coping mechanism anymore. Alcohol started entering the picture. With the alcohol, I ballooned back up again, but I ballooned back up to around the 270 range. I was back at 270 for playing sophomore year of football. I was an offensive lineman, so offensive guard and defensive tackle. And I jumped my weight back up so I could play at that level competitively, right? But then I decided to join wrestling, drop my weight back down again, went from 270 right back down to about 195 by the end of the wrestling season. So in Cedar Grove, they had started up a new rugby club where anybody from any school could come and play. And a friend had told me about it, so I decided to jump in and try it, and it changed everything. After my wrestling, so I had played 1 year already at that 270-pound range, right? Then in between, after wrestling, in between my first year of playing rugby and my second year, lost another, that one would have been 100 pounds, 295, and I went down to 195, right? So I dropped down that weight to be able to play competitively at this new sport that I loved, right? And I ended up becoming a starting prop on our team that was ranked number 18th in the nation at 195 pounds and 5'5". And that wasn't because I was big. The prop position is like the lineman equivalent in football. It was because I was fast enough where I could go out on the edge and keep up with the fly half, the 12-man, all of those guys, 23. But also I was strong enough where I could tackle those big props from the other teams and I could combat that. So I started running about 50 miles a week. I dropped from 295 down to 195 in about 6 months. That was pretty unhealthy just because I was intermittent fasting and I was doing macro counting, mostly just doing a percentage of, I think it was 50% protein, 30% carbs, and 20% fat for my daily macro intake. So that wasn't super healthy with how fast I dropped that weight, but I needed to get it down as fast as I could after the football season before rugby started up in the fall or in the spring. That season, I started at prop, and for the first time ever, I felt athletic, fast, and powerful. But a knee injury shut the door on playing rugby long term. So next up, I already had a scholarship offer to go to St. Norbert College, and they offered me to go play football for them as well. So it was a D3 school. I could continue my education. I could continue playing sports So I was like, you know what, whatever, let's do it. College was where everything unraveled. Unlimited food, parties, stress, and no structure, along with me living on my own and creating my own structure. I hit my heaviest weight ever, 302.6 my freshman year. And then COVID hit. That was a blessing in disguise because I built a home gym. I structured my days and I worked out for hours. I became the best version of myself physically and mentally, using my time every single day to structure every single aspect of my day so that I could get holistically as much as I needed out of it. Coming back, though, back onto campus, it's kind of rough. I met somebody who was my best friend. Also, I fell in love with her. We started dating, and, we were young. I didn't really know all of the issues with my ADHD and what that all entailed as it came with relationships. We were just fighting all the time, and it just pushed each other away. Finally, after a couple of years, she had had enough, so we broke up, and that breakup made me spiral. I spiraled out of control. I was drinking, blacking out like multiple times a week, drinking to excess. Eventually, I got a DUI, and I was hitting rock bottom by that point. I was overweight. I was drinking all the time, trying to numb the pain of the breakup. Sadly, that wasn't my wake-up call, but it should have been. I continued on the hard path and self-sabotage. Then 2 years ago, I made the decision to get sober. I realized alcohol wasn't helping me cope. It was destroying me. January 2025, I stopped dieting, no deadlines, no finish line, just one rule: win the day. And that changed everything for me. I ran 4 miles a day, I tracked my macros, I stayed sober. I went from 272 pounds down to 179 pounds as of this morning. This video is just an overview of my experiences and my time in the fitness world and my journey. I just wanted to encapsulate who I am and what I've done so that you kind of have an understanding of my background and where I come from. I'm going to break down each weight loss piece by piece and go more in depth. And now we're up to date. My story isn't over, and my journey is just beginning with fitness and in life. But I've gone through a lot so far, and I'm always learning and always growing. So your support means the world to me, and I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to show, my background, but also to give back. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've come a long way, and I'm just trying to help out whoever I can. And if you're watching this, your story's not over too. All it takes is one decision at a single point in time. Get after it, and the journey's never over. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, it's a great day to have a great day. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's.